Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, people of all shapes and sizes, welcome back to Rossoneri TV. It is Damo, and today I'll be bringing you guys another Transfer Daily video in which I'll be bringing you guys the latest news and transfer rumors going on at AC Milan as per usual. Now, let's start off with the legend himself, as according to the Daily Mirror, Manchester United have rejected Milan's approach for Marouane Fellaini. Now, I'm sure a lot of you guys will be happy about this news, as a lot of people on Twitter have been kind of bashing Milan for even going after a player like Fellaini. I'm sure he's a good squad player, good for the rotation, good to bring on if you want that physicality. But when he's your plan A, it doesn't really work out too well. And, if Milan were to bring in, I'm almost certainly that he would be their plan A, because they kind of cheap out and use him as an option instead of buying somebody else, which I'll mention later on. Now, on to his Afro compatriot. Tutto Sport is reporting that Zenit have put a €25 million price tag on Witsel as Milan continue their pursuit for the Belgian. Now, this is some news that a lot of people won't be happy about, as obviously Witsel is the alternative that we want to Fellaini. 25 mil, quite a big price tag, but I think personally is worth it for a player like Witsel. Recently you've seen reports of 30 million, 35 million. Milan want to do an option to buy. Either way, I would love Witsel at Milan. He's a player that brings so much to the table, and diversity to midfield, which is something we definitely need, because pretty much all our midfielders can only do one thing, except for Bonaventura, which I think we all know. Now, in other news, El Shaarawy has a €14 million price tag for the clubs interested, set by Milan, which has been reported by Sky. Obviously, the rumors of Genoa and Roma wanting El Shaarawy, some English clubs as well. The rumors will continue to circulate. 14 mil, it's quite a sad story to see for a player like El Shaarawy, a player that carried Milan back then. He's a player that Milan could have got a lot more for if he weren't to get injured and started playing poorly. But I do think that he still has a talent in him. I wouldn't be too pleased with sending him to a club like Roma, because I'm almost sure that El Shaarawy does have it in him to bring that talent back out. Because whenever he plays, you can just see the energy that he brings, and he's not just an average player, and he's still very, very young as well. So 14 million on a player like him is not that much of a risk, unless you're cautious about injuries, which is something he has had as of late, which is probably driving his price tag to the ground. Now, Premier League absolute savages in the form of Leicester City have made a €2 million plus €1 million in add-ons bid to sign the legend himself as well, Nigel de Jong, as the player is open to a return, obviously, to the Premier League where he used to play with Manchester City. This has been reported by the Daily Mirror once again. P.S. They're not the most reliable of sources, but, still reporting the news, trying to get it out there, so it could be true, could not be, but don't really bank on it. Now, obviously, on the matter of De Jong, he has said, and I quote, "The transfer market, I won't talk about my future, only on the field." Now, it's definitely something that De Jong would be saying. It's kind of his character. He likes to brush away all the rumors and just focus on the pitch, which is very good to him. Full on respect to De Jong. I hope he doesn't leave the club, but because I do think he does have a role to play. And maybe Milan will keep him, maybe we'll let him go. But I think for 2 mil plus 1 mil in add-ons is kind of cheap for a player like him. But I guess you could consider, since his wages and that, he's getting to that age where you can't get too much out of him, rather than you might have when he was around 28, 29, if he weren't to get injured. That kind of makes sense. So I can kind of see why Leicester would make an approach so little, for a player that's so great and big-hearted, I guess, at AC Milan. Now, big news of the day. Milan have been leading the race for 23-year-old Brazilian center-back starlet Jemerson. Now, the reports have been saying that Milan are willing to pay about $10.5 million to sign him. A lot have said he's incredibly talented and full of potential, so maybe he can bring something to the table for Milan. Going forward, you would like somebody with experience to partner Romagnoli. Somebody like Alex, except a lot better than Alex, because really, in all honesty, he has been that great. Although he has been okay, he just has been probably below average. I wouldn't say anything special. I don't think that this player would be thrown into the starting lineup right away. Probably be integrated. Maybe he could start in the lineup if he were to fit in well at Milan, but I think it would take him some time to get used to the league and obviously to Sinisa Mihalovic's tactics and all that sort. Now, that is it for today's Transfer Daily. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and if so, comment down below on what you think of all these deals. Is the Fellaini rejection a positive? Jemerson, the next Thiago Silva? I don't know. Guess we're going to have to wait and see. Now, remember to leave a like, subscribe, and all that jazz. Stay salty, my friends. Oh, yeah, and as usual, Forza Milan.
Could maybe cross this one in. Decides to find Montolivo. A nice cross there. It's a great chance. It's a goal from Mbaye Niang.